Hello and happy Friday. This is Pastor Chris Thompson again right here at Christ Central. We're located at 19 West Shannon. If you don't have a church home, we would encourage you to come and join us. We are a very friendly fellowship. Services at 11 a.m. Of course, our first service, which is also including breakfast, starts at 8:55. Sunday school sandwiched in between. If you don't have a place to be, we'd love to have you here. Now, if you do have a church home, we encourage you to make yourself available to them and be a big part of their fellowship. Well, we have been working our way through the book of 1 Samuel. Now, we've taken a couple of weeks off and dealt with some passages that are in regards to encouragement and things like that. And we're heading back in. Now, in 1 Samuel chapter 11 is where we find ourselves today. And this is the story of Saul. Saul is currently the king, and we know of Saul quite a lot, actually, if you know anything about the Bible, if you have any kind of background. And we usually think of Saul, King Saul rather, as being an impulsive leader, one that has a lot of faults. And today we're actually going to look at one of his victories. Now, in chapter 11, the city has been surrounded by enemies. These particular enemies have put out this mandate that if they want to live, if they do not want to be overrun, they can give themselves up and come underneath them and come into servitude. The qualification for that servitude is every man is to lose one eye, to be plucked out from their head, for a couple reasons. One is so they cannot fight well. And secondly, it is obviously degrading, and every person is marked as having been part of the taken over team or city or nation. And so Saul hears about this in 1 Samuel chapter 11. I'll put it on the screen right here. It says this: "Behold, Saul was coming in from a field behind these oxen. And he said, 'What is the matter with the people, and why do they weep?' So they related him to the words of the men of Jabesh. Then the Spirit of God came upon Saul mightily, and he heard these words, and he became very angry." Now, at this point, you might be thinking, well, that's really strange because we talked about this being a victory of sorts. And here, Saul is definitely showing his anger. And I have one other verse I'm going to throw up on the screen right here. And it comes out of the book of Ephesians in regards to anger. And it says this: "Be angry, yet do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger. Do not give the devil the opportunity." And that is exactly what Saul has done here. He's angry, and he's angry for the right reasons. He then moves out after this, and we'll talk about it in detail on Sunday. But after this, he goes out and he takes a herd of oxen and he slaughters them, and he has them paraded around the nation to all the villages, letting the villages know that if they're willing to give up like this, then all of their oxen and all of their livelihood is going to be destroyed, either by the incoming army or by Saul himself, because they're not standing up in support of the country. Now, the people are going to rally around him, and they're going to fight, and they're going to win, and this is going to be one of Saul's biggest victories, and it all came out of righteous anger. So my question is this: when was the last time you were angry? And question number two: when was the last time you were angry for the right reason, a righteous anger that spurred you into doing something great, not spurred you into yelling and screaming and making things harder for those around you, but spurred other people around you to rise up because of your passion for the issue? I encourage you to look back at your life and see which places you were righteous, and which places your anger were serving the kingdom, and in which places your anger did exactly the opposite. If you have any stories or any questions about that, I'd love for you to leave it in the comments below, because I'm very curious about how this plays out in your life as I look at my life to see how it's played out in mine. Well, it has been a pleasure hanging out with you this afternoon, and I pray that I see you this weekend. But if I don't, I pray you're worshiping somewhere with your people. God bless. See you next week.